This podcast episode is brought to you by Ethiopia Life Herbals, where cannabis and culture combine for a one-of-a-kind experience. Visit them at 10A West Kings House Road, just across from Canadian Embassy. Also follow them on Instagram at Ethiopia Life or visit their webpage at ethiopialife.com for latest info on strains and merch. This podcast is also brought to you by
Lothian's Boutique. Follow them on Instagram at Lothian's Boutique, and you can use my code Ariane10 to get 10% off your next bundle purchase. And you can go check them out at Portmore in 23 West Tradeway. That's 23 West Tradeway in Portmore. I think I used my preposition wrong, but you get what I'm saying.
Big up Shark Cut Barbers for the sharpest of cuts. Shing! Go hit up Shark Cut Barbers them. When you go there, tell them say Naro send you, and you get a 5% discount off your next cut.
You say 5%?
Yes, Ari, 5%.
Wow.
Big up Bobby, big up Kemar, big up Dre, and big up Steve. You can follow him right there on Instagram. Also, I have to big up our patrons. Big up DB, big up Tamo Good. If you want to support us and get bonus content, exclusive content, first-hand access to content, you can go and support us on patreon.com/thefixja. Last but not least, we have to big up the merch page. People, go get the black tee with the white logo, the blue tee, the faded logo, the Fix mask, the Fix mug, and the Fix Things merch. All up on the site at teespring.com/stores/thefixja. So, a week has passed since Alkaline's top prize has been released, and the numbers are in.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. The first week
Let's see if
numbers for
Nara was
Alkaline.
right.
Let's see if I'm right. And the numbers are, drum roll please, Javs. 1,527 in pure. Yo, why you laugh?
I can't even beat a solid with them, like, really? You know, when I go music class.
You just know.
Hey,
I know
I play a recorder.
You know what cause will be attacked by eagle emojis and V emojis now.
Hey,
Yeah.
I played a recorder, okay?
1,527 pure album sales and 2,957 units in total consumption from sales and streams in the US.
Impressive.
Wow, look at that. Close enough, Naro.
I was close. I said 2,000. The 3,000 thing look wild.
That
now
did
in
wild,
hindsight.
yeah.
That did wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You should have said like 1.8.
To tell you the truth,
Yeah.
but no, say no, I say I fuck with my talk, I say I lie. But that's the number I had. I had 1,500 in my mind, but I was
you
trying
just-
to be optimistic.
Look at you. Yeah.
I really was.
And you still get tell about your mother.
And beer eagle emojis and V emojis that hurt my heart. In comments on Instagram and all them things there.
Yeah, like how could
You're
you?
good, man.
You know what I mean? But
You're good, man.
what am I saying? I'm good?
Everything good.
Alright. Why you be weird about this?
Everything good.
Anyways, can we talk about this? What do we think about this? I'll start.
He doesn't get it.
No, I don't. So I'm not going to be like, at least I'm going to try to not be like how, or at least react how we've reacted to these numbers in like we've done for previous projects.
Yeah.
You know, the
Cause so people now buy the album.
yeah and shit like that, because we know say yo, we are just
Not an album buying country.
we're not we are freeloaders, and we our thing is mostly have to do with freeness and even the availabilities of DSLs, even though them are more free up in the country now. But yeah, I'm choosing to look at this differently this time and to contextualize these numbers differently.
Okay.
Here's how I'm going to do it. In the overall grand scheme of album sales, is this number impressive? No. But there's several things you have to take into consideration when you try contextualize these numbers. All right? Pre-say Buju, his album sold like 2,900 first week. Buju, who has a machine behind him. Buju, with decades upon decades of experience in the business. And here you have Alkaline, independent, doing numbers close to Buju Banton. And in some respects, I would say I know this going to hurt the Gaza fans, but it's just facts. Outselling Cartel. Yes, the Gaza fans say I'm in a prison, couldn't promote it, rate. Even though it could be argued, say him antics online or whoever is controlling his Instagram account could be seen as promotion for his projects. So I'm choosing to look at this positively. Acknowledging said these are the numbers in dancehall that we've been seeing. It's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. So I'm choosing to look at this through a lens of positivity. It makes no sense for me to jump several years. Cause I already do so with my ear. I already jump several years to be in the old man at the launch here. I do have dark circles around my eyes. Like several people come here and be guests. No disrespect to them. What respect to the elders, you see me? But this is how I'm choosing to look at this. I guess the only thing that probably you could all as a writ against it is that it's going to open number 2. Bob Marley album will outsell it this week. That will be the number 1 album for this week. And it will be number 2. But yeah, this is how I'm choosing to look at this. I don't know what it says. It sell more than in first album.
Yeah, the
I
first one
expected
was
that.
like
700
and something. Yeah.
740 odd.
Well, look at that as an improvement. Like each year, so every time he put out a project, maybe double.
More sales.
He double the sales. Double the sales. And one thing key when I look upon say, yo, he's independent. Yes, him have some pull. And even in regards to certain numbers that I don't want this to be a thing where we accuse him of buying views and shit like that. But we know that there are artists out there who are out here buying streams, and we know the means in which them do it. Like I know, we know on the tactics and on the little
I don't
slime.
know.
I know. Yeah, you know. So like even with that in mind, while I'm trying to look at this positively, is like you have a question: what is real, what isn't real? I even have a question: how them calculate streams as well. I know this is a thing internationally where them even question the calculation of the streams. Like how them come up with the formula to calculate the streams and all them things. You know what I mean? Like who came up with this formula?
Because either think streaming would have more numbers than that.
No, it's just that who determines what a stream is worth?
Yeah.
Because I remember there's a formula where them say, oh, this stream, this a platform, and then it equals to this amount
To
of
that,
sales.
yeah.
You see me? Who determined that? Who?
These are questions we have to ask.
These are the questions we have to ask. It's because we don't have a big enough seat at the table for even ask these questions. So it's like people just take them thing and just, yeah, okay, I would choose to look at the 11 million on Audiomack and we'll look on the YouTube views and say, yeah, we are Vendetta eagle emojis and the V emojis and yeah. I would not really ask them questions because we're not really in a position to ask them questions, yeah. But they should be asked.
You just ruin the fun out of everything.
That's the thing.
You're a fun sucker.
Yo, the sucking. What's after word them bag back into the prison.
No. All right. So numbers aren't really important to me.
I'm getting there. To me, it's I'm not to interject here. To me, I'm valuing the project based on quality.
Yeah. And I've long come to accept that Jamaicans aren't really inventive. I tell you all the time, me kind of figure out a way how we can add to our sales, but I'm not gonna tell you anybody the secret. You have to pay me. And if you pay me, I'm gonna try to work it out. And I think I've worked it out. There are little kinks in it, but I think I've worked it out how it really can be more effective, how we can work on it. But I just say that we're not really inventive people. We just go by the way, like, this is how it is, this is how it go, and this is the results that we're gonna get. But Jamaica on a whole, we've had this conversation already. Jamaican music consumer don't value art. They don't value it. They don't, we don't value it. Let's not exclude ourselves. We don't value it. We don't really think that it's worth us purchasing it and having it as our prized possession. We're too broke and hungry, and I figure out the next bill to be worrying and putting it on a frivolous item as music. Where we can get through YouTube, and we can get it on the radio, and we can get it on the man on the street. So, we need to, Jamaicans on a whole aren't really into things like that. But, the project itself is a good project, and I don't think that the numbers should take away from that. I'm sure he probably look at it and he probably like, he wanted to sell more. But
and I can assure you,
you
see
know,
the press releases that his PR and team been putting out. I'll dare the PR manager to put this out in a press release. Put out these numbers.
No, they're not.
Because it don't look
That's what I
as good as
say.
a million.
Because even though you guys said the numbers not really matter to Uno, I'm sure it affects them. Like, it's supposed to matter to them.
And I mean, if it
this
it
would be like
affects the
them
entire
resilient,
genre.
so like them need for show what them work I do.
And I mean, music hasn't been selling the way as it used to anyway. Like, music don't sell as much as it used to sell before. Like,
but still, in the genres them across the world, when the big boys them put out a project,
J. Cole must do 800 and add
that sell.
first week.
Was it 800 or was it 200 odd?
How much? I never 800 and something. I see on the Rolling Stone something.
Fact
But maybe
check.
it's a combined thing. But you're right. Probably 200 is
I believe it was 200,000 copies sold.
far better than what we're doing.
Well,
But
the
and I mean, their audience is much bigger than ours.
Of course.
So, we have to put things in a whole bunch of context.
and perspective.
Yeah.
That's 294,000. Wait, this are not albums. That's singles. 274,000.
207. All right, my bad.
0.2. Yeah. Beam me up,
I was
Scotty.
looking at the streaming. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Sometimes I wonder if this is something that would affect them making it onto the international scene. Like,
Of course.
them look on them numbers and say, well, yeah, you can say your project great, but your numbers
Don't reflect same.
And this is what the labels and the gatekeepers overseas, they will look at, because as we've heard guests on our show, at least guests with some sort of insight into how these people think, will say, oh, we are just a little flavor to them. We're just a little,
Vibe.
a little vibe. That them can run in and easy me sample and take and use to them discretion, but not really put up on that stage like that, at least
as a top
prominently
act.
and consistently, because the numbers them are like this. Alkaline is seen right now as one of the leading figures them in the dancehall,
Yeah.
and the reality is these are good numbers for us, and the overall scheme of tracking them thing. Yeah. A man, Atlantica look upon this and say, psh. And the reality, I'm gonna know the emojis them going off now, and the eagles. Eagle. Caca. Like something I'm a really question. I'm like, what them thing they do? I don't know.
But
Yeah,
then
It's their way of showing
but the
support.
question is like, did those people buy?
Alright.
Did
Alright.
those
We're
people
not
buy?
gonna go there.
Hold on. I'm not really want to go there, but I have to. Because we're just talking about some of the sycophantic fans about them. Alright. When I speak to Alkaline fans, right? When
They
I
ain't
speak
buying
when I
it.
speak to one person that represents all of them.
Okay.
Right? They said they listened to the album. After listening to the album, then did a brief them want to buy the album like that. So that means they never did buy it initially. So I think even that speaks to how we consume things. I even know people too, because enough people them listen it first through various means, and that will be the determining factor if them actually go put their money behind it. And this Alkaline fan that I spoke to said after listening to the album, they're kind of disappointed, and they said, nah, bother buy it.
What? I mean, that she don't. I mean, is that she?
Is a she?
She don't represent. I guess everybody.
No,
but
she-
just
she
some
does.
people. But some people just don't look at it as an investment. Like people just think of it as a waste of money because they'd rather pay to go and watch him, and that's how he would make most of his money, by doing shows and record traveling.
And to be honest,
So,
Ari, I
you
cannot
know-
fault people who think that.
yeah, and that is it. Them just think that the experience of seeing them live and seeing them in show will be much better than just buying a very static work of art, which them can listen again on YouTube, them can listen it on the digital streaming sites where them don't really have to pay a lot of money. Them can pirate it, they can download it, they can wait on them favorite DJ if you play it. So I just think that we need to just stop looking at it. It's so annoying to talk about because you're talking to set up people who don't see it the way you see it, and it's as I say it, let them die. They're never gonna get it, so just move on. It is what it is. Yeah. So again, good job, Alkaline. It was a really good project. At least it was not really good. It was a good project. It was a solid body of
Yeah,
work.
don't go back and erase on.
Yeah, it was a solid body
I
of
don't
work.
hate it.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. And I think that's it. And I think that we can move on from the conversation. I mean, it did 1,500.
You think we should?
Not bad.
You think going forward we should discuss album sales?
I don't, not
I
unless
don't
it's like
think-
massive.
Yeah.
Drastic difference.
Because again, because
Because it's difficult.
we're used to standardized testing.
Yeah.
And we're used to putting our grade on something to measure it. That's how our brain works. Like,
At
if
least
you
that's
don't-
how my brain works.
if you don't get 92, then you fail. But then it's just I said, but no, I don't understand this. So I don't understand fully this chapter of the textbook. But if you went to chapter 10, I would probably have a better conversation on it. I don't like standardized testing. I tell you, I'm the worst student in life. I slept in school. Whatever. I don't test well. But when it comes
No
to
people can say, yeah, man, 'cause
participation,
you're done, surreal.
right? But when it comes to participation,
Eagle. Caca, caca.
when it comes to participation, when it comes into having a robust discussion, when it's like to use my brain and to think critically, I think that's where I shine. But then to put me in a test and say, well, you have to do this and write and whatever, it's gonna be hard for me. So I think we need to probably get out in that mind of numbers and
That's the thing in the
testing
art. I
and
just
trying to
said,
put a measure to it. Like you just can't.
my brain is used to doing them thing, at least towards music, in which I hold in high regard. So
And I think you can do that for international projects, but in Jamaica it's just different. It's different. It's like literally asking a bird how to swim. A bird cannot swim.
or a eagle.
Some birds swim.
Caca.
Like they're not like it
According
just
to Discovery Channel, some birds swim.
is if this was a hip
Just
hop
shut
artist,
up.
if this was a hip hop artist in America, this discussion could be had because the audience bigger and the market is bigger.
you know, are just just difficult
it's
because
in
as I
Jamaica,
said,
you
we're
can't.
used, at least I am used to thinking a certain way.
No, we all
So
are, but you have to change that
even in
mindset.
conceding and trying to fit my mindset to a certain narrative, it's difficult, you know, because you know, say we sit through certain bullshit. When them spew certain stats and certain numbers, we know say yo that's bloviating and that's when not really tell the full truth. And you have some people out there who I'm not gonna use that term there. They're misguided. So I don't really know better.
Yeah.
But like my mind, I know say yo, I don't really not for be number one on reggae billboard.
Yeah, we know that.
And like if you're a person of alkaline stature within the space, that's a gimme. That's a gimme. What you do in comparison to the your international counterparts? As that's where my mind have to say, yo,
I mean,
stop,
you know what is
try
funny?
fight against the grain.
It's funny. It's like we just have to accept that, like, our market is just not going to be at like that level unless our economy change rapidly, where we have disposable income, and again the culture change of like pirating things and thinking that we can get things for free and whatever. Like, you know, we just have to change that mindset. So until all those things change, it's just a thing where we just say, well,
That's just it.
just look at just give the props of the
could continue to be crab in a
value.
barrel and say which album sound better than which. My artist sell 100 more copy than yours. My artist sell 500 more than yours.
So
And
better than
that's the
yours.
thing that how much your idiot Gaza artist sell.
Eagle.
Eagle, kaka, v. It's like I mean I try.
I
Still.
mean, people probably say that's such a defeatist way of thinking, and like, you know, all like Ariane, like that don't make no sense because, you know, people they want to compete internationally, and you know, if you're competing internationally, you have to put up your numbers, but
We're not at that level yet.
we're not at that level. We're not. I would just need to accept that and move on. So I would love for us.
To move on. I know I've been a child. Do that. But just to say this, I maybe people got this with our conversation surrounding the last time really talked numbers with the album was with Popcorn. And we kind of did bemoan the numbers there, and some people thought that it was an indictment of on the quality of the album. I mean, it wasn't. We still thought what we thought in regards to how it sounded. But we just talk about certain things in regards to how it could have done better numbers wise, the
Especially
marketing
with
of it.
Drake push.
2 Drake features, like even them thing them even why I choose to look upon this as a positive for Alkaline. Popcorn, we're getting a comparison game. I don't really want to. Popcorn have the Drake backing,
Sorry.
the 2 Drake features, big size just was. She should know so the V's and the Eagles are coming.
You know, it's not that. It's just, you know, when you have the same conversation
Over and over
again, and it's like at this point we just have to just
there's
realize
some
that
reach.
the audience they're not going to put their money where their mouth is. It's clear. They've made that clear. The Rabbit fan base have proven that they're not going to put their money where their mouth is. So you're going to
They're
constantly
going
be
to
having
put
this
where them
conversation.
fingers where the emojis are.
You're going to constantly have this conversation, and you're going to constantly be like talking and saying, well, the numbers. And of course the numbers are important, and it's as Javi rightly pointed out, that it's their resume. It's their stats in the game. It's what it's a measure of their assessment, but we can't measure it like that. That we have to find a different measuring stick, and we can't measure on numbers on album sold. We have to measure
Locally.
locally. We have to measure on, and to be honest, I don't even think most of the album come from Jamaica. I think it came from an American audience. I think it came from overseas. I don't really think most of the album
Like that's the next
is
problem
from
too.
America.
Like how you measure them,
it's
because
like
YouTube are bullshit.
The diaspora.
The YouTube numbers are forged. You can't tell who I buy from who not buy, even though there are some ways in which you can tell. But isn't it some do it more cleverly than others? Like how do you gauge it? You see me? How
This is
well
where corruption don't work.
you what did I? You see me? Advocate for corruption.
It works
all
for
of
them. It works in order to fluff up the resume, but in terms of like even getting a deal and to be recognized internationally on the international stage, it's not gonna work. So our shining stars is Sean Paul, Shaggy, Damian Marley / anything Marley. And the upstart now is Coffee because she has the international eyes now and Chronics and Protege.
So your mother got eagle. Kaka. That tattoo.
Whatever.
You know, so
the point I was going to make is that with the popcorn thing was that the two Drake features, the label, the OVO label, and you'd like to think that it would have done much better, especially when you see what somebody independent do. You see me? So take this information forward. You will data fans. You see me? Una don't think one want think about it already. You see me? We're not getting on a back and forth and a heel and a high with people. I see some people out there do. No. This is the information. This is how we feel at the end of the day. We want everybody. You see them thing at them conversation we have because we want to see our artists them on certain level. All of them. Of course. Not just one set. Yeah. Like how some would have want and prefer some stay down there son. We want all of them can able to say, oh, you know, say our artists, our dancer artists do this, you see me? We are compete for number one Billboard with J. Cole and all them things like them the thing them when I naturally genuinely want to see. Yeah. But we live in our little bubble, and in our little bubble, crab in a barrel, VVV versus crack.
It's safe here.
Versus you see me, Gaza.
Hey, eagle.
You're safe here.
Yeah, all them fuckers.
You're safe here.
We're safe in our little bubble?
Here.
Alright.
Bubble boy.
I know everybody around you genuine like leather. Someone switch up on your words, I don't know what that car like. Don't pretty like not tie and night. When you see some people just say I and buy. Don't give them your energy. Them a drain it. Them know I see you touch the sky and fly.
Get it. Palm tree full speed, gas press it. Do keep a time for your new lesson. Ready up, get them up in the munching and up in the
bust the gates, put your trust in God, dog, holy faith. It's another life we choose. Badness never nice like Sunday food. Cause if you make a mistake, nice on your place. Next day you make headline on the news, dog. This another life we choose.
Go hard, young boy, I'm stuck in my go yard. Gaining weight, I need a go large. White and yellow rose, go long. I'm Otto Beckham with a BOA, go long. Roll up the runs, we don't smoke bongs. Put that bitch in the grave, nigga, so long.